Today, we're going to talk about the Concept Development Worksheet. This worksheet will walk you through some of the important steps in the research process. It can be helpful to visualize the research process as a triangle on its side. First, you start with a general idea of what you want to talk about. But as you read and learn about your topic, you will figure out how to narrow it to the ideas that you find most important or to a specific point or thesis you want to make about that topic. This worksheet is intended to help you learn this process. In part 1, you will simply need to write down 3 concepts that you would like to write about and tell why they are interesting to you. Make sure that you consider concepts that truly interest you, though, not concepts you think would be good. If you're not very committed to what you write about, the writing will be flat and uninteresting. Frankly, it'll stink. And readers don't enjoy reading stinky papers any more than students enjoy writing them. Also, in considering why a concept is interesting to you, try to be more imaginative than simply writing because it is. Yawn. Give it some thought. Why are these ideas worth your time and effort? For part 2, you will find an article in either Oxford Reference Premier or the Gale Reference Library for each of these concepts. Skim the articles and find what important subtopics fall under that concept. For any given concept, there are a number of subtopics or smaller ideas you could write about. And a well-written concept paper will do a good job of addressing several subtopics. For example, let us suppose that you chose to write about the concept of movies. That's a pretty wide open topic. There's a lot that you can say about movies. You could write about the different types or genres of movies: romance, adventure, comedy, horror. Or you could write about the people involved with making movies: directors, editors, producers, writers, actors. Movies are really big business, so you could write about the economic issues involved with movies: DVD and Blu-ray sales, promotion and advertising, box office sales, production costs. Did you know that even cheap films cost tens of millions of dollars to make? Or you could write about the history of movies, important inventors, silent films, black and white films, films with sound, films with color. You get the picture. Part 2 of the worksheet will help you consider the subtopics of your concept. For part 3, pick the concept that seems strongest or most interesting to you. Read the article more carefully and write down some of the details that you find important or that you think would be important in helping to explain your concept. And finally, in part 4, you will need to consider what synonyms or alternative search terms you could use to learn more about your concept. You can find these both in the body of the article or in a list of related content and subjects. In both the Oxford and Gale reference databases, for example, these can be found on the left-hand side of the screen. Now, this step is really important because almost all research situations will demand that you investigate your topic in a complex way, which means that you will need to consider concepts from multiple points of view to really understand them. During the research process, you will need to visit the steps in parts 3 and 4 a number of times, and you may even need to repeat parts 1 and 2 a couple of times. Now, going through these steps will take time, obviously, but that's an important aspect of good research and writing. If you want to really know what you're talking about and convince your reader that you do, you have to put in the time. When readers look at your paper, it becomes obvious when your writing is just fluff and bull, so to speak.